Right, guys, you're welcome back to the channel Smart Hustle YT. So if this is your first time of checking out on my channel, I'll urge you to please subscribe and turn on the bell button for you to receive notifications whenever I upload new video. For my existing subscribers, you're welcome, and for my returning subscriber, the family always remain yours. Today we shall be looking at another important tutorial here. And that is what? The magical advantage or the magical powers of Martingale theory. All right, guys. Now, I have been meaning to give you guys the concise meaning of this Martingale. And apart from that, there are so many requests on the concise and detailed meaning of this martingale. So today we shall be looking at what is contained on martingale and everything about it. All right, now without much further ado, let's dive into the video. All right, guys, martingale theory is a theory that was propounded and given by the young man called Mr. John Henry Martindale. All right, but his name was later misplaced with what? The D there to what? G, making it what? Martingale. All right, and a theory was named after him. Okay, guys, so I want you guys to stick around with me from the beginning to the end of this video, because this video is detailed packed, and at the last part of this video, guys, I am going to give you guys my bonus offer that if you grab the bonus offer, you shall start making money here and now this minute. All right, so make sure you stick around with me, do not go anywhere, and do not skip any part of this video for you not to miss out on any important update. All right, so that is it. Now, this young man known as Martindale propounded this law on 18th century at the late 70s, even when before our great grandfathers were born. So that is it. So okay, now let's look at the simple calculation of martingale. Now, before I begin all this, I will need to stress out that a lot of people knows what martingale means. But the problem they get along the line is when they make a wrong calculation about martingale, they come out being depressed at the last time. So make sure you stick around with me to learn everything about martingale. Okay, so that is it. Now let's look at simple calculation of martingale. Now join me as I move into my calculator immediately. All right, guys. Now the simple meaning of martingale is whenever you place a bet and lose the bet, that's your next stake should be expected to be twice your former stake. Let's say you staked the first bet with 100 and you lost it. The next one should be twice your first stake. That is 100 multiplied by 2, which is 200. All right. So, but what they don't tell you is that when it comes to martingale, there is a particular calculation you need to make before beginning. There is a particular odd you need to use. There are rules. There are odd you are needed not to even apply martingale to. All right, and that is what I'm going to give you. Now let's take for example, you are dealing this with 2 odds. All right, and this second one you won. Okay, and when you win, it's gonna be your 200 you staked multiplied by 2, which is 400. Remember, you staked 100 and you lost, and you now staked 200 the second time and won it to be 400. Now let's check your total staking. Your total staking here will be 100 plus 200 second stake, which is 300. And when you subtract 300 from 400, you are gonna be getting what? 100. All right, so that is it. You make exactly everything you have staked together with what? Profit. Do you see that, guys? So that is what martingale is all about. Then the third thing I am gonna be telling you guys is the magical advantage of martingale. What is the magical advantage which has prompted me to make this video? Guys, martingale is very, very powerful. Very powerful if you do the calculation very well and follow it duly. It does a lot of things to you. You bet with confidence, and secondly, whenever you lose, you will smile instead of getting angry. The problem that a lot of people have is that they approach Martingale anyhow they like. They just wake up tomorrow, map out any amount they want and start using it to bet, and when they lose on it, they multiply it by 2 without taking their normal portfolio and making lots of normal calculation out of it. So that is it. Now, I will need to tell you a particular story. There was one certain day that I was moving down the street when I learned Martingale for the first time. So I was just moving down the street and I saw, all these shops where they do all these Bet Niger and the rest of that. Though I don't used to do that anyway, but I just decided to apply Martingale on it that day to be sure that what I learned was true. I moved into there and then got to the virtual aspect of that. Then picked a particular picking that I have manual there. All right. Then the odd was too odd. Okay. So I staked it now with 100 and it's lost. When the next game came out, I picked a similar event to my former event. Then multiply my 100 by 2, making it 200, and staked it and it lost. On the third one, I staked it again. I repeated the same thing I did on the former ones and then increased my amount times 2 and staked 400 here and it lost. The next one, I staked times 2 of the 400, making it 800. And it's lost equally. At this point, the girls working on the shop were already laughing at me. Now, finally, I picked exactly the same option again and now bombarded it with 1,600. And wow, guys, it was a winning. They were all shocked and surprised. The whole money that I have lost in those stakes, we are all what? Recovered. Together with what? Profit. So I don't want to bore you guys with a lot of explanation, but if you rewind this video and make due calculation on the total stake I staked here and subtract it from what I won the last time, you will discover that I made everything that I lost together with what? A profit of 100 naira. Just, I give you that as an activity. Go back and do the calculation. So that is it. Now, the third thing we need to explain here, having noted that Martingale is very, very powerful and magical if you take the step correctly, are the rules embedded on Martingale. The rules embedded on Martingale. Now, quickly get your notepad and make sure you are taking down this as quickly as possible. Now, let's look at the rules that you need to apply in Martingale to make your betting life successful and fun. Now, number one, never use more than 32% of your total portfolio. So your total money, if you are making use of Martingale theory, you are not expected to exceed more than 32%, so that you don't use your entire savings in placing bets. All right, so that is it. Now, note down this: depending on the chances of winning, the higher the odd, the lower the chance of winning, and the lower the odd, the higher the chance of winning. And for this fact, if you are, because I am going to be teaching two particular important odds here, there are two odds that are very important on Martingale. That is 1.5 odd and 2 odds. All right. So if we are going for 1.5, we shall be using total of 32% of our portfolio. But if we are making use of 2 odd, we are going to reduce it to 16% of our portfolio, so that our emotions will never be attached to whatever we are doing, and we are going to be doing it with ease, so that whenever we lose, we simply laugh out of it. Then secondly, study and be sure where your tips are coming from. If you are the person that is making out this tip, be sure that you are very, very good in what you are doing. If you are getting the tips from a source, be very, very sure that the source is very, very authentic. That in all their games, that at least in the fourth one, you are gonna make, they don't make a losing, at least 4 rows, or most importantly or maximally 5 in a row. All right, so that is it. Now, number 3, maintain the same odds. Don't bet the first one with 2 odd and repeat the second one with 1.5 odd and the third one with 3 odd when you apply grid to it. If you do this, you are no longer maintaining Martingale theory. No matter the calculation you are doing, the Martingale theory has been spoiled. So make sure your odd is the same. If you are working with 2 odd, work with 2 odd throughout. If you are working with 1.5, do the same. Now, the fourth one, depending on how you studied your stocks, calculate martingale compounding with at least 5 good loss possibility. Calculate it in the sense that you have to lose 5 times, even if you won't, so that you know the amount of money you are mapping out for this. But provided you do what I told you, 32%, and the calculation I'm going to give you, everything you are betting will fall into that money you mapped out without touching any other money you have. Now, the fifth one, be strong and accept losses as a stepping stone. So whenever you make loss, provided your martingale calculation is correct, you just smile to it. So number 6, after every successful winning, start the next stake again with the first stake amount. So let's say you started this bet with 100 naira according to your calculation. After you make a winning, no matter, even if the winning is at the 4th stake, return back entirely from your 100 naira stake. So that is it. Now, the last but not the least rule, the highest odd you can use in martingale theory is 4 odds. Don't ever exceed 4 odds. If you exceed 4 odds, then you have failed the martingale theory in total, because the more the odd, the lower the chances of winning. So if it is more than 4 odds, the chances of winning has been lowered to the barest minimum here. Remember that this is not a financial advice, so YouTube always asks us to say, this is not a financial advice, but I just give you what I have taken out time to research on, and it worked for me, hoping you will do exact same thing to get what? Exact same results. Now, without much further ado, let's now look at the pure calculation of martingale. The pure calculation of martingale. Here we are going to be working with 1.5 odd and 2 odds. All right, let's look at the calculation of 1.5 odd. Now listen, make sure you are with your notepad. So let me clear. If you are making use of 1.5 odd, you have a higher chances of winning more than 2 odds. All right, so now get 32% of your total portfolio. If you are working with 100,000, then 100,000, the 32% of 100,000 will be 32 divided by 100, multiplying it by 100,000. So guys, 32% of 100,000 should be 32,000. So whatever you are doing with this 1.5 odds should not exceed 32,000 out of your portfolio. So get 32,000 out of your portfolio. That is for somebody that have 100,000. So if you have lower than that, do your own calculation. Get 32% of it. If you have more than 100,000, get 32% of what? It. So that is it. Now, after getting the 32%, the next thing is to divide that your 32% by what? 32. So here, guys, let's divide this by 32. So if we divide everything by 32, we are going to be getting what? 1,000. This is your first stake what? Amount. Now, let's look at the calculation. Now, let's say you place the first game 1,000 and it's lost. Now, for 1.5, your next stake should be, listen, guys, your next stake here should be times 3 of your first stake. So in the second one, we are going to be staking 1,000 times 3, which is 3,000. All right. And after that 3,000 lost, then the next one we stake 3,000 multiplied by 3, which is 9,000. And maybe we won here. Now let's do the calculation. So guys, let's say 9,000 multiplied by 1.5 should be giving us 13,500. All right, so let's check how much we have staked and what we have lost here. All right, guys, the first one was 1,000 and it was lost. The second one was lost at 3,000, and the next stake after 3,000 was 9,000. You see that, guys? That is 13,000 naira. And when we subtract it out of 13,500, we are going to be getting 500 naira. So everything we have staked together with profit has literally what? Come back to us. Now remember that it's not a must that you use exactly this calculation. All right. You can multiply your stake by 4 depending on how trusted the source is coming. All right. Now let's now look at two odds. When you are working with two odds, remember the higher the odd, lower chance of winning, and vice versa. So if we are working with two odds, we are going to be getting 16% of our total portfolio. Let's say that the total money you have is 200,000, guys. Now let's get 16% of 200,000. Let's say 16 divided by 100. Then after that, we multiply it by 200,000. So we are going to be getting 32,000. All right. Now, equally, just like you did in the other one, divide it now by 32. So let's divide by 32. So we get 1,000. Now watch this, guys. Your first stake here should be 1,000. Expecting that the odd is 2. So 1,000 multiplied by 2 should give you 2,000. And at this point, the first game, let's assume it lost. Now, the next one shouldn't be multiplied by 3 of your first stake. It should be either 2.5 or 2. Okay, let me work with 2 here. Now, your next stake should be 1,000 multiplied by 2. Let's check that, guys. Let's check that. So, 1,000 times 2 should give us 2,000. This is what you are going to be staking for next game. You stake 2,000 and it lost. Then the third one, you stake 2,000 multiplied by 2, 4,000, and it lost. We are just assuming here. All right. Then the next one you are going to be staking, let's say, is 8,000. So we multiply by 2. And let's say at this point you won. All right. Now let's first of all check how much you spent in total. That is 1,000 plus 2,000 plus 4,000 plus let's say 8,000. Do you see that? 15,000, guys. So you stake a whole total of 15,000 here. But remember, lastly, that you staked 8,000 and you gained what? 16,000. So subtract 15,000. Subtract 15,000 from 16,000. So guys, you are going to be making all your money together with a profit of 1K. And when you want to start up again, start up this with the 1,000 you were having before. Now, some people may ask, should we make any profit since we use the same 1,000 again to bet it? Now, I'm just making this calculation to tell you that you can lose 4 times in a row, but it won't happen every time. You can place the next 1,000 and still win the game. You back the 1,000 out and begin again with 1,000 again. But I'm telling you that whenever you stake and the loss was the outcome of the case, that look at what you have to do, which is the martingale. That does not mean that we have to be making a loss throughout every time we make 4 losses. No. So that is it, guys. All right. Now, lastly, guys, my bonus offer, guys. All right, quickly, guys, I have a bonus offer for you guys. And this offer is how to make 5,000, at least 5,000, at least every day with just 50 naira on a particular Nigerian betting site, which I am going to reveal to you if you grab the offer. All right. Now, some people may be asking, is this another normal betting? No, this is not betting. This is just a hidden secret on that particular bookmaker that a lot of people don't know how to, apply all these things and win out of there. All right. And again, you may be asking, shouldn't I share this to you guys? All right, now I can share this publicly. But before I was able to learn it, apart from the amount I spent in learning it, if I share this publicly, every people will get to know about this. Hence, the opportunity may be dwindled or terminated. All right. Even as you can see my channel, even the bookmakers officials watch videos on my channel. So if they get to know about it, something may happen to the opportunity. So that is it, guys. Now, if you are able to grab this opportunity, it is a promise that if you do exactly what I told you with the calculation and everything without getting greedy, it is a guarantee that if you do exactly what I told you, that you shall be bagging at least 5,000 every day with it. So how do you now get this particular offer? All right. Now, before I made this video, if I have to show you guys proofs, but let's just not dive into there because of time. I give out this particular package to people at the rate of 40,000, 40K. Sometimes I do a promo on it and reduce it to give it 50% discount, making it to be 20K, and still they grab it without wasting much further time. But here, this opportunity will be dropped down to barest minimum because I want everybody to partake in it. So the opportunity will be going for as low as 10,000 naira. As low as 10,000 naira. And again, guys, the opportunity is limited to the specific number of people because I don't want it to be crowded by people. So if I meet the required number I need, if you contact me again, I will just tell you that I am done. The opportunity is closed. So make sure you grab it now without looking at the back. And again, if you apply exactly what you learn from the package, you will start making money this minute. And definitely you will come back with what? Testimonies. Now, how do you now grab this opportunity? First of all, go to my description box. You'll see a particular Telegram channel there. Visit that Telegram channel with immediate effect. And when you visit it, then pick the contact you have just right below or above that particular Telegram channel. Pick the contact and contact me on WhatsApp declaring your interest so that I give you further details of how the payment will be made. So that is it. And again, if you are one of my subscribers in my VIP betting, the formal video that I made in which the card will be above now as I'm speaking, if you are among those people that grabbed it, now this is another wonderful bonus for you guys. You are going to be getting this course at another 50% discount. So for others getting this course for 10K, you are going to be getting it for 5,000. So that is it, guys. This is where I draw the curtain of this video and ask you guys that make sure you give my video a thumbs up, give it a like, and comment positively on the video so that the video goes viral so that every other person sees it. And for now, see you guys on my next video. And I believe that I have rightly explained your hurdles on martingale theory.